Half of all people in Chile don't have a home. But this terrible fact is true in many places around the world, as we'll see in this video. Chile, a land of amazing beauty, from the tall Andes Mountains to the wide, calm Pacific Ocean coast. This country is like a puzzle of natural wonders, where the land tells a story of greatness and differences. But under all this beauty there's a struggle. A struggle often hidden behind the pretty views and good-looking numbers about how the country is doing. A struggle as real as the mountains and the sea. It's a fight for something very important. Half of Chile is fighting for a roof over their heads. In the busy city areas, families are desperately looking for shelter, a place they can call home. Meet Miguel Lawner, an architect who didn't just design buildings, but also ideas. Ideas that could change lives and reshape neighborhoods. Someone we can all look up to. Lawner wasn't just about blueprints. He wanted to change the whole system. He pictured a world where buildings were made to help everyone, not just a few rich people. He believed that having a home wasn't just for rich people, but a right for all Chileans. His idea was clear. Every family deserved a safe and good place to live. And he clearly saw the enemy. People buying and selling houses just to make a lot of money, like treating homes as game pieces, making prices shoot up and forcing families out. Even back then, house prices were getting crazy high. It was a fight against greed and unfairness. Lawner wasn't just about talk. He was about action. He was out there working with the construction crews, making sure his ideas turned into real homes. He was a man who got things done, leading CORMU, the Urban Development Corporation, when Allende was president. With him in charge, CORMU became a sign of hope for many people. This wasn't some desk job. CORMU was right in the middle of the fight for housing, building homes people could afford, and standing up to those trying to make quick money. It was a fight for the very heart of the country. Lawner's story is more than just about bricks and cement. It's a story about fairness, about everyone being equal, and about fighting for a Chile where everyone has a place to call home. It's a story about not giving up, about having a big dream, and about a strong promise to make a better future for everyone. Okay, so let's get this straight. A home isn't just something to buy and sell, it's a human right. Lawner wasn't some radical who hated the free market. He was a practical visionary who understood that economic systems can be pretty complicated. He believed in markets, sure, but he also believed they needed to have some limits. He thought of the market as a helpful tool, not as the ultimate boss. He saw the danger of letting the market's invisible hand turn into a greedy fist, squeezing families hard. If the market had no controls, it could lead to people being treated unfairly and things not being equal. Lawner argued that land, a piece of ground, wasn't like a fancy car or the latest phone. Land is a basic human need. Having a roof over your head is super important for people to live with dignity and feel stable. Just like with healthcare and education, he believed the government had a job to do. Make sure everyone could have a safe and affordable place to live. This was about building the foundation for a better society, and that would make the country stronger too. And listen, this wasn't about charity. It was about fairness. Everyone deserving a fair shot at having land and all the opportunities that come with it. Lawner believed in hard work and people taking care of themselves. He knew folks wanted to earn their own living. But it was tough when all the chances were grabbed by big landowners and speculators like the game was rigged. Lawner understood that the game was stacked against working families. The whole system was tilted to favor the wealthy. With house prices way up high and paychecks staying the same, owning a home felt like an impossible dream for lots of folks. The roadblocks were just too big. So what was Lawner's solution? He said the government needed to step in, not to get rid of the market, but to make the playing field level again. That way, everyone would have a fair shot at the dream of owning their own home. Now, you might be wondering, what about help for housing? Doesn't that help people pay for their homes? Well, Lawner would tell you to hold your horses a bit. He saw right through that trick. According to him, this help wasn't the answer. It was like adding fuel to the fire. How's that? Imagine just pouring money into a market where way more people want houses than there are houses available. What happens? Prices go up, and up. Lawner argued that this help just ended up lining the pockets of builders, people who buy and sell to make quick money, and landowners, making the housing bubble even bigger. Remember, these folks are in it to make money, and they're not going to miss a chance to make more just because the government is handing out help. Lawner thought that instead of just throwing money at the problem, the government needed to get to the real root of it all. people buying up land just to sell it for a much higher price later on. This brings us to Cormu, Lawner's baby. It wasn't just about building houses, it was about building communities. Cormu's mission was to create affordable housing, but not the cookie-cutter impersonal kind. They were talking about well-designed, complete communities with parks, schools, and community centers. Places where families could thrive, not just survive. But the real genius of Cormu was its approach to land. They weren't going to play the speculator's game. Instead of buying land at inflated prices, they used their government power to take over land that was being held back for speculation and put it to public use. This wasn't about punishing landowners. It was about putting the needs of the many before the greed of a few. Section 5. Vertical ghettos. Stacked up high, living with hardly anything. So let's talk about those skyscrapers, the vertical ghettos Lawner was always against. Picture this, giant skyscrapers, full of families, but with no parks or places for people to feel like neighbors. These weren't homes. They were like concrete cages. Lawner saw this as a way of keeping people separate. Poorer families were crammed into cheap, tall buildings, while wealthy people had big houses with nice green yards. Lawner said that real answers for housing had to think about everything, not just the buildings, but also how people in a community get along and support each other. He wanted places where families with different amounts of money from all different walks of life could live together. This would help break down barriers and make everyone feel like they belonged. For Lawner, just giving someone a roof over their head wasn't enough. He believed in creating places where people could really truly live. Section 6. Housing's Tightrope Act. Balancing what the government should do and how the market works. Some might call Lawner a dreamer, a pie-in-the-sky idealist, and of course some of his ideas don't seem to fit together. He criticized government money, subsidies, but also wanted the government to get very involved in housing. But that's the thing about tricky problems. They hardly ever have simple fixes. What Lawner left us with isn't about having all the answers, but about asking the right questions. He makes us face a hard truth. Housing is something everyone needs, but it's also something bought and sold. And finding the right balance between these two sides isn't easy at all. It's like walking a tightrope. It needs careful thinking, brave moves, and most importantly, the willingness to challenge the way things are. Section 7. Lawner's Echoes, Modern Battles Against Speculation. You might be thinking, that's all well and good, John, but this is 2025. Is Lawner's message still relevant? Absolutely. From the favelas of Rio to the outskirts of Paris, cities all over the world are facing the same problems with finding a home and with speculation. Lawner's ideas might have been shaped by Chilean politics, but they echo far beyond its borders. In Berlin, people voted to take over properties from big landlords to stop rents from going up so much. In Barcelona, the city is using empty homes to house people without a place to live, even though 80% of the land in the country is empty. These are just a few examples of how Lawner's fighting spirit and his belief in the power of people working together are inspiring a new generation of people fighting for fair housing. Section 8. More than just bricks and cement. The human cost of housing inequality. But let's remember, this isn't just about money or how cities are planned. It's about people's lives and even how steady our country's money is. Not having enough homes people can afford causes really big problems. It makes families choose between paying rent or putting food on the table. It pushes people to the edges of cities, far from jobs and chances to get ahead. Every empty lot really means someone without a home. Every empty lot is one less job. Every empty lot is someone who's hungry. Every empty lot is less tax money for the government, and half the people can't even use that empty land. This kind of awful situation hurts communities, makes unfairness even worse, and makes money problems bigger. Lawner understood that a home is more than just four walls and a roof. It's a safe place, a place to build a life, to raise a family, to dream of a better future. When we let speculation go crazy, we're not just making prices go up. We're splitting up families, crushing dreams, and hurting the very thing that holds our communities together. Section 9. A Plan for the Future. Lawner's Legacy and the Ongoing Fight. This section looks at the big impact of Miguel Lawner's work and the fight that's still going on for fair housing. So, where do we go from here? How can we learn from Lawner's life and use those lessons for today's problems? Lawner's life and work give us a plan. It's not a strict plan, but a set of guiding ideas. Ideas that show how important it is for people to be involved and for growth to last a long time. The importance of the government stepping in, making sure there are rules to protect the people in our society who need the most help. The need to put what's good for everyone before private profits, understanding that the community's well-being should come before making money for just one person, understanding that housing is a basic right, not something special only some people get. Everyone deserves a safe and secure place to live. His legacy is a call to action, a reminder that we must keep fighting for these ideas. A reminder that we can't just stand by while the housing crisis gets worse. We need to tackle the main reasons why there aren't enough good homes. The fight for affordable housing is a marathon, not a sprint. It needs long-term commitment and for us to keep trying. It needs ongoing effort, political will, and the courage to challenge powerful groups. We need leaders who are ready to stand up for what's right. But as Lawner showed us, it's a fight worth fighting. His dedication and passion keep inspiring new generations of activists and city planners. One good and simple way to deal with this problem is to have a tax on empty land. Right now, people who own empty land don't pay taxes on it. This means they can keep their land empty for a very long time, and there are millions of empty lots. Now, if there was a tax, say $200 a year, for each empty lot, it would encourage owners to build on their land, or at least sell it. This tax would not only bring in money for the city, but it could also be used to pay for and improve things in the community, or even get rid of other bad taxes that hurt new businesses. Also, by taxing empty land, it would stop people from just buying land and waiting for the price to go up, because owners would have to think about the cost of keeping land empty. Putting this simple idea into action could be a big step towards making the housing market fairer. It would help make development more equal and open to everyone, without needing to take away private property. So to sum up, taxing empty land is a good and effective way to stop land speculation and help make cities fairer. Land speculation has been a big reason why poverty has increased in every country. When housing prices are pushed up unfairly, people have to spend a lot of their money on rent or a house. This means they have less money for other important things like education, health, and starting businesses. By getting rid of land speculation, we can make things fairer for everyone. This would help people find affordable homes, giving them the chance to open workshops, grow food, and raise animals. They could afford their own homes without worrying about super high prices. This would help people become self-sufficient and boost local businesses. Also, by easing the pressure on the housing market, it would create a good environment for small businesses to start. Local workshops and businesses would not only help the economy, but they would also make communities stronger by encouraging neighbors to work together and support each other. So, to wrap it up, by tackling land speculation, we're not just fighting poverty, we're also opening up many chances for people to do well, grow, and help their communities be better. It's really important to have rules that control the housing market and help everyone get a decent place to live. Thanks for watching the video. Please share it to help continue Architect Lawner's fight.